How do you feel?
Dude, I feel great. I feel energized. I'm ready to take another shot, dude. This is the first time I've ever been outside of my house without my kids.
Whoa.
I'm so excited. What should we do next?
Oh, I think we should drink all this stuff.
Yeah!
I'm putting that in the bonus features.
And we are live. Welcome back to Talk It Up, everybody. Today's guest back in the building for the second time. Tommy Davis.
Hide your kids, hide your wives, because here I'm coming.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
hide both? Hide the kids.
Well, yeah, kids like me.
Maybe just the wives. I think the kids are fine. Why hide the kids?
Well, kids like me, and then they're going to convince their mom that they want me as their new dad. So.
You sound like the preview clip to every Hansen versus Predator episode.
Dude, I was seriously thinking about
Tommy.
I was thinking
Tommy's been chatting online as a 39-year-old.
Yeah. I was going to have a mustache only coming into this. I was trying to go Top Gun / Old Navy days. But after that comment, I'm so glad I did it.
I feel like the stash only look is kind of coming back a little bit.
It is. And it's fine. You know, I think I pulled it. I was out of the Navy and I did it. And I bought this crappy hair pomade stuff, and it made my hair super greasy.
I think the Navy's the last place you could still do it, for the last few years.
No, that's the place where you do it.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
now it's becoming cool everywhere.
Right.
But prior to being cool everywhere, it was cool only in the Navy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if you're a dad, a really old dad or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Navy's all about the mustaches and the slick hairdos, and every other branch is all about the high and tights. And
are you going to shit on all the other military branches right now?
No.
Is that a real thing, by the way? If you're on the ship, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I'm going to use some cool lingo. Is there another term?
No, it's a ship. If it's I don't know the exact term, but if it's over 150 feet, it's considered a ship. Something like that.
But do you guys refer to it as the ship?
Yep, we do.
Okay.
Yep.
So if you're on the ship and you're just hanging out for a long time and then you have time to spare, are you guys bashing on the other branches?
I think the only branch we bashed on in the Navy was Coast Guard.
Because it's easy pickings.
Yeah, it's we call them puddle jumper.
They do what we do, but worse.
Yeah, they do what we do, but they stay in the United States, and their deployments consist of going
losers.
from San Francisco to Washington. Poor them.
So that's the main target of Navy people is the national, or not, what was it called? Coast Guard.
Coast Guard, yeah. So in the Navy, at least, I worked on an amphibious ship, so we worked alongside Marines.
Amphibious ship?
Amphibious ship.
I asked you earlier if it's just called a ship.
An amphib.
And you forgot to mention the amphibious part.
I'm not going around being hey, you guys ready to head back to the amphibious ship?
We're actually refer to them as amphibious.
Yeah, it's an amphibious ship. So amphibs.
So they're all like frogs.
Yeah, so amphibious ships was basically, we're like a marine taxi. We were able to flood the bottom of our ship so we can have boats that come in that take tanks back to shore. And that's how we transport our Marines and stuff, along with a flight deck for them to be on helicopters and stuff. Can you hear me?
Move it a little bit more this way, yank it. Oh, Jesus. This is why I don't have you on, Tommy.
Yay.
And then that way you can turn it like this and it could be.
Oh, gotcha.
Do you see how mine's
Yeah.
Do you see
direct on?
Yeah. I'm showing you my butt right now, Tommy.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
The butt of my mic.
Dude, my butt was shown to the camera a second ago.
Because you sound way better
That's
like that.
super embarrassing.
So get up on that.
Okay.
Now that I've showed you my butt, get up on that.
Well, the camera's seen my butt for the last couple minutes, so. But no, as far as
bonus features.
Yeah, bonus features is you got to see my beautiful butt.
So subscribe now if you want to see Tommy's butt.
And that doesn't make you special because everybody's seen my butt.
Oh, he's lying. You'll be the first one. Subscribe. That's all he's trying to say.
Yeah.
So you were saying
smash that like button.
Did you always want to say that?
Yeah. And if you're watching this and you like to, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe.
It. But don't break your screen.
Yeah, don't ring the bell and smash it. No, in the military so in the very beginning, before our deployment, we do workups. We go out for a couple weeks at a time. We're out in the ocean. We're just kind of getting to bond. You know what I mean? With the Marines. There's about 1,200 Marines and about 300 sailors on my ship.
Wait, there's Marines in the ship too?
Yeah. So,
and that's normal?
Yeah, so on deployments, it's called a MU, Marine Expeditionary Unit. I know,
Come on,
I'm
you're making this stuff up.
I'm not going to go too deep into these
Amphibious MU.
Yeah, I'm not going to go too crazy
Did
into
it
these
ever
acronyms.
evolve into like a Mewtwo?
Yeah, yes, it did. No, I'm just kidding.
I like keep ruining your story. All right,
Yeah.
so you guys are out there on the Mew.
Yeah, we're out there on the MU, and basically, like in the beginning, it was like Navy versus Marines. Like people were fighting like over like chow or over lunch and dinner and stuff like that, and it was kind of petty for the first couple runs that we had, and then everybody got along. But what I will say, in the military, we all kind of work closely together, and we're all kind of a team. As far as my experience goes, I'm sure other military members might say different, but no, I respect all branches, and I think we did as a whole because I mean, honestly, you do work with all the different branches while you're on deployments and stuff.
So do you think when people in a certain branch of the military makes fun of a different branch, it's like in good humor? Like, do you think there's an underlying respect, like that? Hey, we're all doing this certain thing over here, but also 100%. We're better than you because we're guys, and
that's cool.
Talk.
Yeah, and that's cool. Yeah, 100%. I think either people are trash talking and joking around, or people are complete like losers, and they're like, "Oh, we're so much better." And we're like, "Okay, cool, man. I'll see you later."
So, did you ever care about naval slander? Like, if someone was talking crap?
No, because I've gotten it from when I started, and I still get it to this day. So,
but I think
it doesn't bug me.
Yeah, it also the person usually doing it has never done anything.
Right? Yeah. Like, so
what,
you were
in the
seaman?
Navy? So you're gay?
You're seaman? Yeah, you're gay.
You're a gay seaman?
I'm like, dude, it's June, bro.
Dude, it's June. You cannot say that, man.
Did you make sure to see who?
But
was
also,
near you?
yes, I was a gay naval seaman.
Yeah. I was a swimming seaman, and boy, did I love men. But only in the Navy. Only in the Navy.
Yeah, I love saving men.
Let's get this clear.
It's like, save me, daddy.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's kind of what we do here in the Navy.
Yeah, I was hoping you're saying zaddy, but daddy, whatever.
Did you say you have a zanny? No, save me, daddy.
Dude, I got that all the time. It's awesome. I miss being in the Navy. Actually, hold on. I got my recruiter's numbers. Where's my recruiter? Dude, I'm ready to go back.
That's a good way of looking at it, man. I'm glad you're that way, and I'm glad that you're able to find humor in that. And I think most people that were enlisted do.
Yeah.
And I know I've met someone in almost every branch of the military, and I've met multiple types of people in every branch. Like I met someone who really did some crazy shit in the Army, and someone who really didn't do anything in the Army. Right. And I met people that did crazy shit in the Air Force, someone who really didn't do anything. And it's crazy in all the branches, Marines.
You're fucking lying.
Huh?
Not one person did crazy shit in the Air Force. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I know a guy.
Unless they were like,
I know a guy that
spec ops,
and I bet he listens to this podcast too because I used to sell cars with him. His name was Brent Smith.
Yeah.
He was 20. I'm gonna get this wrong. 26 years, I think, retired Air Force.
Oh shoot. Okay, I take back my comment.
No. Amazing guy, but he fit in well selling cars because he had that same. People that sell cars have a certain type of humor, and you got to be able to joke around with the guys a lot. And he fit right in. He had a great sense of humor, but also like I could tell that guy had done to this day. He's never really told me like what exactly he did. Right. First of all, you don't do that much time and do nothing. Right. But also like he never glorified himself. He never came in saying like I'm this veteran. You guys will respect me. He was super humble, super cool. Sold a lot of cars. He was like the dad figure of the group and a great guy. I have met some Air Force guys that pretended the opposite. Usually younger. They maybe did it like maybe one term or something. And then they were like, yeah, it was crazy up there in the sky. Yeah, no. You mean where all my dreams are? Yeah. How crazy can it get up there?
Bro, you best not be calling my dreams crazy. No, but what I will say about any branch, whether they do their 3, 4, 26 years, is the people who don't full on go and tell you the full story of the things that happen are probably the ones who've seen the most stuff.
Oh, well, you could tell when they cut the story off a little bit. Yeah, we're all having fun, and then Steven and... Yeah, good night. It was a good night. Yeah. Like you could tell that moment, you're like, oh, you're about to say some crazy shit Steve did.
So you're going to stop right there? No, I actually had a, so randomly I do like Uber and Lyft, like for fun, for like extra. It was like, whenever I go out and, I want some extra money for coffee, let's do Uber and Lyft.
Sure.
Let's pay for the coffee, right?
I bet you get some good stories out of it.
And then I went down a rabbit hole of actually really enjoying doing Uber and Lyft and meeting people and networking, real estate and stuff like that. And anyway, so one time I picked up one of my best friends, which is random. And
did you know that before you picked him up?
No. Well, I mean, I knew the name, but there wasn't a picture there. Yeah. And when I saw him, he's like, whoa, he's like, Tom, is that you? And I'm like, yeah, dude, let's go. So I go back to his house and I turned off my things. You could turn off whenever. And we start drinking. And his buddy was there who was a...
Wait, so you pick up your Uber job and you take him to your house?
No, his house. I took him to his house where he wanted to go. Yeah, I did my job and I ended it. Yeah.
Okay.
And we were drinking, and his buddy was like Army Spec Ops or something. Shoot, I can't even remember exactly what he did, but he was telling me I think he was maybe in Djibouti or something like that. Yeah, in Africa. Yeah.
What was he doing in my Djibouti?
No, there's a real place called Djibouti or not?
Is it really?
Yeah.
Why is no rapper capitalized on that yet?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's a Djibouti?
It's like
Where is
on the Horn, or not. It's on the east side of Africa.
That was a perfect moment to be like, it's at your mom's house.
It's at your mom's house, bro, and I'm about to go there. No.
Where's Djibouti?
It's on the. It's at your mom's house, bro. On my OMW, brother.
Damn it! I set myself up again.
Yeah. Dude, you do it so much, and I love it. No. Anyways,
So where's the actual Djibouti?
It's on the east side.
I still couldn't do it. All right. Where's the city?
Dude, it's at your mom's house. Okay. I don't know what country. I don't know. It's on the east side of Africa. I don't know. We're hanging out there a lot, and we have a military base over there.
It's down in Milsylvania.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with me. It's this guy, all right? Yeah, Milsylvania.
Dude, get it together, Tommy. All right, you guys are in Djibouti.
Okay.
I'm going to look it up, by the way, while you're telling your story. How do you spell it?
DJ.
If I type in Djibouti and we get Khaled, we the best in Djibouti.
DJIBOUTI. I don't
DJ
know. B.
Boo. Do you think if I just put DJ Booth?
DJ Booth.
DJ Booty City, maybe. Right? Do you think I spelt it wrong? I'm not even.
It's one word. It's like DJ BOUTI or DJ IBOUTI. I don't know, something like that.
Did you say I be having UTIs?
Oh, I was.
Oh,
yeah,
Djibouti.
I was right on one of those.
DJ IBOUTI. It's the capital of the Djibouti.
Duh. That's what I was trying to tell you this whole time.
Djibouti. Where's that? It's in Djibouti.
It's in Djibouti. It's spelled DABOOTI. Djibouti and Djibouti.
I feel like I'm getting a prostate exam. I was in Djibouti.
You do when you
Where
go.
are you, doctor? In Djibouti. And where's that? In Djibouti.
Oh, shit.
All right. It says Djibouti. Is that how you pronounce it? Or am I? All right. It's for sure Djibouti. Djibouti.
Softy.
Djibouti. Right. Djibouti City is the capital of Djibouti in the Horn of Africa.
Oh, I was right when I said horn.
Of course,
I said
Djibouti's in Africa.
I did say that. If you rewind the tape, I said horn. I was like, ooh, I'm not 100%. Let me revoke that comment.
But it's in the Horn of Africa.
Yeah, Horn of Africa. That's right.
So Djibouti is in Africa.
Right. So anyways, this
says African Djibouti. Hold on, let me read this real quick.
All right.
It's known for its 19th century architecture, and the port of entrance is at the Red Sea.
That's
correct.
It's
in Europe, in the European quarter, and then it gets into some crazy words I can't pronounce.
The Red Sea.
So Djibouti is in Africa.
Right.
Why has no rapper capitalized on that? That's going to be the dopest rhyme ever.
Well, rappers, they don't go off of actual facts. Once Eminem,
do you know them?
No, I'm just kidding.
Last time I was at the rapper meeting, they're like, no fucking facts, Tommy.
They're all, you guys, we're not spitting facts today. We're spitting.
We're spitting bars. We spit hot fire.
Yeah, we're spitting only non-scientific proven stuff. Okay, guys, let's get this correct through everybody's minds.
But Wayne, have you ever been to Djibouti? All right.
There's no little in front of their names when it's at the rapper meeting.
We're like 10 minutes into the podcast and we got lost on Djibouti.
Yeah. Okay. We're rambling.
So your friend was
okay.
He was inside Djibouti.
My friend's buddy
was in.
Yeah, in Djibouti. What if I wasn't even Djibouti this whole time? What if I'm making that part up?
People watching this are like, those naval guys are gay as fuck.
Dude, he's been talking about booty and being inside a booty hole this whole entire 10 minutes.
We started off going, naval guys, we get it, seamen. Yes. Anyways, me and my buddy were in Djibouti.
We're so over the gay jokes, guys. Come on. It's Pride Month. Let's all get along.
All right, go ahead.
Anyway, so he was there, and he didn't really talk about his missions. I know we went so far up, and my whole thing was he was like a spec ops guy, and he didn't really talk about it. But you know what he talked about?
Yeah,
was Channing Tatum was in between shooting Magic Mike 2, and happened to be on base because they're filming something out there. I don't know, in Africa, or I don't know where, but he happened to be on the base of Djibouti for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because it's an American base and that's why he was there. I don't know, but he was saying he was like the most down to earth guy, like drinking with him, like. Talking about how his abs were CGI'd on and stuff like that. And
Channing's was?
Yeah. And he's like, I'm in shape. He's like, dude, but my abs don't look like that. And so I don't know where I was going with the story 20 minutes ago, but it had a point to it, and now I don't know.
So your friend was in Djibouti.
Met Channing Tatum, got to have some Channing and we got to have some drinks with
Wait,
Mr.
so
Channing.
what do you mean so I thought when you said that his abs were CGI'd on, your friend was going to say like he's not in as good of shape as you think he is.
Where he was going with that was he's like, dude, that dude was like slamming beers with us and eating pizza in the middle of filming Magic Mike 2.
Oh,
kind of like
well,
that.
they say that a lot of those films, like they film the shirtless scenes first, like because they get them in their shreddest point, they film those scenes, and then they go back to the movie,
right?
Because they usually lose it. Like Chris Hemsworth, have you seen the preview for the new Thor?
Yeah,
he looks jacked out of his mind, and I bet he was that jacked for that day.
Apparently, he gained like 20 more pounds or something for Love and Thunder than he did any of his other like Thor movies, which is crazy.
There was a dude that makes fun of him on TikTok. And he's like a steroid guy.
He better watch out. Making fun of Thor?
No,
Are you serious?
No, the guy, and I forget his name or I'd shut him out, but he covers like celebrities that do steroids or not. And he was saying that like, he's like, guys like this are the same guys that be telling you that all they ate was chicken and rice. He's like, no, they took a bunch of steroids and then got in their best shape ever. And then went right back to like drinking beers and living their life.
Right.
And that fits right in with the media perspective of what a body should look like.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how many times I've looked at myself. I was thinking of this today because I was telling you earlier, like, man, like I was in such good shape for the wedding. And then like I got out and now I'm trying to get back into shape. And I remember like kind of, because I'm always the kind of guy that tries to get my mental right. Mm-hmm. And I know that I'm very in tune with stuff and sometimes it could be overboard. So I was thinking like, am I in good shape? Am I not? And what does good shape mean to me?
Right.
And I remember thinking of my best shape that I've ever been in. And then thinking of like, not the worst shape I've ever been in, but maybe the worst I felt about myself.
Right, yeah.
And I bet I look similar. Like I don't have pictures because I don't take pictures that much. But I bet if I did, and I held up a picture of the day I felt pretty bad about myself, like the way I looked and felt, and the day I felt the best, I bet I would look very similar. Like I know I would probably like look a tiny bit better,
well, and
but it's not as big as it
people.
feels.
To other people, they're probably like, wait, you lost 20 pounds? You know, or not even so much that.
Well, I was
you gained 20 pounds? Like, I'm sure to, you know what I mean? To yourself, you look like you gained 40 pounds.
I was thinking the opposite, or not the opposite, but yeah, not that drastic. I think because I still get compliments and stuff, but I'm like, I don't feel great.
Right.
And so I think it's like the actual working out part that makes you feel good.
Right.
Because when I leave the gym, I feel jacked.
Yeah.
Like if I walked and feel like shit, I walk out feeling great.
Isn't that
and
crazy?
I look probably the same, maybe a little bit more pumped up because I was in there. But the reality of it is, it's not that different.
Right. It's
but
crazy.
But the feeling is way different.
Yeah. It's like the mental like psyche or whatever like does so much for your spirit and for your confidence and stuff. It's crazy. And sometimes like it's hard to sit back and look at that and take it day by day with your goals. Mm-hmm. Whenever you know you're so, you know, sucked back into not seeing the immediate results. You know, it's like sometimes you need to listen to your mind on how you actually feel.
Is there anything
and
that
being content with that? Is
there anything that you do, or like, first of all, do you recognize like is there certain days where you just wake up like I suck? Like, and you don't know why?
110%.
Is there do you have a go-to that like, you're like, I'm going to do, say, drink, eat, feel, watch, whatever it is, like this thing. And because I know it takes me out of this.
Yeah. So this might sound extremely lame to a lot of people, but I don't really care. I'm like an open book. When I was kind of like at my lowest, I think one of my absolute favorite routines was get up. I've never been a water drinker ever.
That's your first mistake.
Yeah, exactly. In about a year and a half, this is one I always tell people. I'm like, this is my high school story because I always go back to that one time that I was like in super like motivated, good shape.
Sure, you're allowed to.
Yeah, and you know, get up, chug probably 32 ounces of water, something like that, something crazy or not crazy, but drink, you know, 32 ounces of water. Sit on it, maybe go work out an hour later, maybe for about an hour or so, and then I'd come home and as I'm cooling off, I put on like Disney Plus or something, and something that's kind of positive and uplifting. And I know some people are like, Disney's not positive, whatever. I don't care. I don't care what you have to say. For me, it's like an uplifting feeling. So whenever I didn't have my kids, that was like my go-to like routine. And I swear to you, like starting that day off, like until the end of the day was like a positive, motivating day. I was working harder, as far as, you know, my actual work life, more motivated, positive, you know, less negative feelings. But I think the morning and starting your day off a certain way and having your own routine, whatever it may be, you know what I mean, can really give you some mental positive success. So,
Did you have a go-to Disney movie?
I didn't have an exact Disney movie that I would go to, but I mean, I have like my, you know what I mean? I think the nostalgic feeling is the feeling that like I reach for that makes me feel good and like positive.
Yeah.
And I know it's kind of, you know what I mean? I know you usually hear that from, you know, from other people or from kids or from, you know, but I'm like, dude, I don't care. Like this is, yeah, dude, I'm a kid at heart and I don't care. But, yeah, that was kind of my routine.
I don't think that sounds weird at all.
Yeah.
I like to watch, because you mentioned like watching nostalgic movies.
Right.
I don't do this regularly, but like I like to rewatch things that made me feel good when I was younger because my younger years were so bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Shit.
No, I get what you're saying.
I feel for hyping you up on that one.
No. They were so bad that my escape a lot of time was movies or stuff. Like I don't have a lot of memories of doing great things with friends. I have a few. Like I wasn't very active as a kid. I wasn't encouraged to. But like movies and stuff like that, like or music was another big one. And so I always like to rewatch, even though they're like way out of date. I like to go back and rewatch like some really old stuff because it makes me remember in a good way, not in a bad way, what it was like when I watched it back then.
Right.
And to me back then, it wasn't just a movie I watched. It was this escape from my actual reality.
It was an experience.
Yeah. And I liked Homeward Bound. Did you ever watch Homeward Bound?
Loved Homeward Bound.
I recently
haven't
rewatched
seen it in a long time.
Watch it.
Okay.
There's the guy from Back to the Future played Chance. What's his name?
Doc? Or
No. The kid. The kid at the time. He's like Parkinson's now.
Parkinson's, yeah.
You're gonna get canceled.
Tomato,
That's
potato.
ableism.
Oh shoot! Dang it.
Jamie, is it Fox? Not Jamie Fox.
No.
Jesus, I had to pick up. Oh man, I forget his name. Jeff Foxworth. No, not Jeff Foxworth. Should we look it up? He plays Chance. Dude, I think Liam Neeson plays like the old man, like the old dog. Shadow.
Oh, really?
Shadow.
Uh-huh.
We should pull this up. Maybe I'm like, maybe it's not. I should like not like say this until I confirm.
What's the Jeff Foxworthy go-to joke? The if I was a redneck.
Is that his name, Jeff Foxworthy?
Yeah, that's a comedian, right? Well, if I was a redneck.
Oh. But he wasn't the guy from the...
I know I'm talking like Mater right now, but if I was a redneck, I'd go and...
Homeward Bound. Sorry, I'm looking it up for those of you that are only listening. And if you haven't never seen it, it's about... I was about to say 3 dogs.
A boxer,
two dogs,
golden
and a cat.
retriever, and a cat. Siamese. Don't...
And
am I close on those?
But they're all voiced... of course it's not Liam. It just sounds like him. Chances Michael J. Fox. God damn it. I couldn't think of his name.
Michael Jordan Fox.
Shadow was Don Amici, and he's so old that his picture is in black and white. I don't think... I'm going to assume he's not around.
Yeah.
Look, this is him right here.
Are you an IMDb guy? You're just straight Google.
Oh, both.
That's
the
I'm
guy
kind
that
of
played
blind.
Shadow.
Is that an old
and then
black
Sally
and white?
Field played Sassy.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why this Kevin guy is first. He was like the least important character, the little boy.
Yeah. The one who's terrible at looking after his pets.
But it was nostalgic to rewatch it because it was like I remember watching it a lot when I was young and just trying to like figure out like which kid owned which dog and like which role. It taught me what role I was in my family when it comes to like brothers. Like the middle child and the older child had like the young dog. The young kid had the young dog and the older boy had the more wiser dog. And the girl had the cat. Jeez. Like it like reinforced like gender stereotypes. Yeah. But it was like such a cool movie to rewatch and like to reconnect with those characters because I was like, I just remembered like it was so emotional when I was a kid. Like because spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
If you've never seen Homeward Bound.
If you don't plan on seeing Homeward Bound soon, tune in.
There's a chance they don't make it home at the end. And there's a scene where like the kid's like, he's just old. Like he thinks his dog died.
Right,
like he's just old. He couldn't make it. He's like, God, I suck.
Later golden retriever.
And then he comes back. Yeah.
Right.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of the ones I used to watch a lot when I was a kid and relate to. And I rewatched it, and they're never good, like great cinematic movies, but the feeling is still there. I'll still take myself back to like when I watched it as a kid.
Yeah. Great cinematic movie. All time, like greatest adventure movie of all time for kids. I shouldn't say that. but I'm going to anyways.
For our age kids, you're saying?
For our age kids, and my kids, and they like it, is the Goonies.
Your kids like the Goonies?
My kids like the Goonies.
I love the Goonies.
The Goonies is an amazing movie.
Hey, you go.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, isn't that your dream? Like, you go treasure hunting as a kid, and you find an old pirate ship, and
but
a
not
bunch of
just
gold.
treasure hunting, like down to the old bar next to like the family that's weird and it's all riggedy.
Right, yeah.
And Chester Copperpot, man.
Chester Copper.
He may have set some booty traps.
Some booty trap. Hell no, it's some booty traps.
Where'd he get booty traps from? Djibouti.
Djibouti, yeah. He straight up found him in Djibouti.
But those childhood movies live in infamy. I used to always watch my grandmother growing up watching these old ass shows and movies, and I remember thinking, why would you watch this when there's newer shows in color and there's newer, you know what I mean? Like, why are you so stuck on like
Jeez, Grandma.
like I Love Lucy? She would watch that. She would watch Andy Dick or whatever the fuck his name is. Something with Dick in it.
Dick Van Dyke.
The
Dick Van Dyke Show.
Dick Van Dyke. Something with Grandma stop watching stuff with Dick in it.
You're watching Andy Dick.
Grandma, wake up.
Andy Dick and Tom freaking what's his name joined together. Daddy, would you like some sausage? What's his name? Tom? Come on.
Freddie got fingered.
Don't leave me hanging.
Freddie got fingered. Daddy, you want some sausage? Daddy, you want some sausages?
What's his name?
I don't fucking know, dude. I know.
The tall, creepy guy.
I just think it's funny.
That was like Andy Dick era, Pauly Shore.
But I remember watching her watch this, and then I now get it. Now that I'm older and I'm watching stuff that, to me, like I watched the old Star Wars, because that's a new popular thing when Kenobi came out, and I still love it. But I totally get why someone would not like it. Like, I don't have kids, but if I made them watch it, like, this is dumb, I'd get it. It's kind of cheesy.
This is dumb, Dad.
So I now have more appreciation for my grandma.
Right.
That's the moral of the story.
No, 100%. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. My grandparents.
What did you just say?
Getting dark as hell. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I guess the only thing I remember, like, I mean, we lived with our grandparents when I was like really little, but yeah, my grandpa's all into like old westerns.
That's not weird. Why'd you say?
No, because I was about to be like, dude, my grandparents have been gone for quite some time now.
I'm like, get to the dark part.
Yeah, get to the dark.
He used to make us clean our rooms dressed as cowboys.
Yeah, I'm like, all my grandparents died of like, what you like, you know, when you forget your memory and stuff like that. Alzheimer's. And so that's after me for sure. That's why I can't remember anything on this podcast, and we have to Google everything.
Do you ever feel, and maybe this is me realizing my own mortality, do you ever either look in the mirror, look at photos, look at memories, and just think like, man, you ever look at an old like memory, not even old, but you know how Facebook will be like, 7 years ago, you high-fived your buddy. And you're like, God, I look great in that picture.
Yeah.
Going back to what we talked about earlier, like I definitely didn't feel great back then. Right. But when I see these memories, I think like, man, I was so young. Right. Man, I was so fun.
So worry-free.
Yeah, but do you ever wonder like one day you'll look up and you're just like crow's feet, not the same tone you used to have in your skin and you're out of shape.
I'm scared for that one day to happen. I'm not scared. I'm not terrified of it, but it's like I've really learned to enjoy what's going on now. But I totally like, I know that day is going to come and that feeling is going to happen.
I know it will too. And as much as I'm exactly what you said, which I totally embrace and I agree with you, like you should totally enjoy the time that you have and make memories and fun and all those things. But I know it will come, and I think I'm more aware of it now that I'm older. And I'm not scared of it. I think, again, I just like, let's maximize the day. I'm that guy. But God, man, I don't want that. Like I really like I really don't want to do it. I'm hoping some like breakthrough will come through and like we don't have to age like that. I'm sure we will.
Dude, it's already out there. It's already out there.
The anti-aging?
It's already out there. And
but if it is out there, like we'll never embrace it.
No, we probably won't.
Maybe. I bet there's a big market for it. So now that I think about it, because there's always money and stuff, but there's tons of things that are healthy for you, good for you, and will help you live longer, happier lives that the government just does not approve.
Oh, 100%.
And I'm not just some conspiracy theorist. Like weed is a big one that we recently got legalized here in New Mexico and has been legal some other places. But like growing up, that was like the devil's lettuce.
The devil's lettuce.
It would only take you to the dark side. Like it was like a demonized thing. And like now it's like, it's weird if you don't. Right. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. And so it's just weird. It makes me wonder, like pharmaceutically, like what are they keeping from us? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's crazy. And this might go off topic a little bit. But
Talking to the mic.
Yeah, I don't know. Yes.
There you go.
Well, this is me. This is when you have to like
welcome,
the
Welcome back to the world.
The cloud, yeah.
The people listening want to hear your voice, Tommy. You got to get up on it.
Mark Cuban's website for drugs, for pharmaceutical drugs.
Explain it.
So Mark Cuban basically wanted to create a cheap version of drugs that people need for, I don't know, anywhere from cancer to diabetes, anything that are costing people hundreds of thousands to $10,000 dollars a month, and give it to them basically at cost. And it's out there now.
Is he doing that?
It's out there. Yeah,
I remember hearing about it.
Yeah, it's there. He has the websites up. And people are basically getting these drugs, and he's charging people like 5 or 15% over the cost that he's getting, which is unlike the 500% that people are paying, to Walgreens or to all these other big companies. And it's like, no, I'm going off on a total different area, but this is people like Mark Cuban, Elon Musk, whether you agree or not, but these are people who are legitimately like trying to find change and put their money and their name out there.
They're trying to find solutions to like real problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And stuff that us normal people, no matter how many petitions we sign and how much we can, bitch about it, it's not going to change.
I feel like I've heard that before about Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
But my grandpa recently, and I won't get too deep into it just in case he doesn't want me telling the story, but he recently needed some medication. He's older. He has tons of problems circulation-wise in his body. And it turns out this medication, and but let me preface it by this, because I want people to realize there's good in everything bad, and there's bad in everything good. There is no black and white. Mm-hmm. And this goes to anything that anyone's debating, whether it's abortion, whether it's Black Lives Matter, whatever the hot topics are, whether it's the presidential race that's coming up, whether it's, I'm trying to think of more like controversial. Those are the big ones.
Check out social media and you'll find.
Yes, there's tons of things going on, right?
Yeah.
No matter what it is, there's good in everything bad. There's bad in everything good. So you really have to watch your perspective on stuff. And here's a good example of that. Is my grandfather recently needed medication for a sickness that was really, really going to take an impact on him at his age. And his insurance was going to cover a lot of it. It turns out the medication cost, and I'm going to guess, around $80,000, and I think I'm pretty close. And they were going to cover over half of that, which is about $50,000. So he would have had to cover about $30,000 out of pocket, which is a major blow to anyone in the United States. There's a recent study that comes out that most Americans cannot afford a $400 emergency.
Right.
So can you imagine a $30,000 emergency?
Right.
And someone came along, an organization came along and decided to cover what the insurance didn't, which is $30,000. And now this person has a great opportunity to get back on a healthy path. And so it's like, great story, right? As I tell it, most people listening are probably like, wow, like great for your grandfather. Bad part of this story, multiple aspects of it is, what does that do to the human being when you didn't really have to work for anything? Your insurance covered most, someone else covered the rest. How much do you really, really take advantage of that situation?
Right.
And in his situation, I hope he takes full advantage of it, which I don't know if he will. I hope he does.
Right.
Good and bad. The other part of it is that company that covered they covered the other.
Oh, I know where you're going with this. And
that covered the other 30,000. I don't know what organization it was, but if we only glorified them off doing that, I guarantee you that same company has done some bad stuff because most people are in for profit, right? And so it's like, let's call them Company A. Like Company A covers people's bills every now and then, and they publicize that. That's what's all over the newspapers. But it's the same company that like maybe encourages plastic bags and they're killing dolphins or whatever. I'm just being dramatic.
Right.
But it's like in everything good, there's something bad. In everything bad, there's something good. So if I tell you firmly my opinion on something based off something I've experienced in life, the chances are that my experiences are very different than yours. And my experiences can't be taken at face value if I am to be smart about my opinions, because what I know is what I know.
Right.
And I know that sounds like a basic phrase people say, but there's another side to that. And you can't just fully support one thing without understanding both sides. And there always, trust me, there always is both sides. Right. And so I caution people to be firmly for anything until you fully know like what that's about. And we live in a world where if you call me out on the way I feel about something and I cite facts, I'm citing the facts that support my thought process.
Right. Yeah.
And
that goes with like everything.
Yeah.
I mean, and
everything
I feel like what you just said is what a lot of people should understand whenever they are stating their facts. Is not like, this is the fact that you have to believe, but this is the fact that supports what I believe. And there is, most of the time there is a fact that supports the whole and, particular issue. But a lot of times, like, we bring to the table, like, hey, this is what I found that supports what I believe in.
Yeah.
And that's a hard conversation to have with a lot of people.
Or even not what I found. Most of the times this is what I've been through.
Right.
And that's your right to like talk about what you've been through, but to be open-minded and to say like, hey, this is what I've been through, but I'm open to what you've been through too, because the way that I feel that mine's important, I bet yours is too.
Right. Yep.
That's like pretty rare, but that's how we should approach things.
Definitely.
And so it's me and you talked about this a little bit earlier, but I'm very reserved when it comes to political stuff because I'm not scared to lose friends or even gain friends. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care about the box you get put in, but I really, really care about other people's experiences. And on the off chance that something I feel strongly about offends someone's experiences, I just don't do it until I kind of get a good idea of what they're going through. But like, I recently was talking to someone about Roe V Wade being overturned. And I won't get too deep into this. Oh, I totally burped in the mic right now.
Dude, I love it when you burp in the mic.
Every time I think about Roe V Wade.
It makes me burp.
It makes me burp. And I won't get into specifics about it, but I'm going to give you a perspective that I don't think people have thought of, which is exactly kind of what we've been touching on the whole time. I have a certain opinion about it, about abortion, pro-life, pro-choice. It has nothing to do with women's rights. It has nothing to do with my body, my choice. It also has nothing to do with the other side of it, which is, what is the argument the other side makes that like, it's mostly men making these decisions. It's like a control thing. It's politicized. It's another way for men to make choices for someone else. Like, whatever the arguments are, I can't make good or bad arguments for either side. But I know I have experiences, and I'm a man, so clearly I've never had an abortion. I've never been with anyone that's had an abortion, at least not that I know of. But I have been, from my perspective, a foster kid. I've been adopted. And people don't always think of that perspective specifically when they talk to me. And I never push it because like that's my only perspective. But I do know what it's like to be adopted. I do know what it's like to be born into a family that no longer wants me and maybe shouldn't have had me altogether. And I'll tell you this, Tommy, I've actually never said this on a podcast. I don't think I've ever said this to you. I for sure have never said this to you. I don't know if I've said this to a lot of people that know me, but there was a time in my life where I told people I would rather have been aborted. And I didn't say it in a dramatic way. It was just a genuine thought. I really felt that way. I felt like, man, like if my mom couldn't afford to support me and was not going to love me and was going to end up abandoning me anyways, I would much rather her have had me. Right. And I truly meant that when I said that. I said that for years. And I changed my mind in the last few years. And I think what changed with me was not someone telling me their thoughts or pushing some thought in my face. It was just me valuing myself. And again, this is my perspective. I just remember waking up one day and thinking of all the things that I bring to the table, all the things that I bring to my adoptive family's table, my siblings' table, and the friends, and then meeting Laura and everyone I met through them. Like, I value that. I value that. Yeah. I value that more than I undervalue my mom's ability to be a mom.
Right.
And I think that I may not have a vote in the thing. I may not have a say. I may not have a voice in it. But from the perspective of a kid being adopted, I will vouch for those kids and say that they do deserve opportunities. And the same kid who used to publicly say, like, I'd much rather have been aborted than to go through this shit that I'm going through, I 100% feel differently and feel like I was wrong. And now that I'm older and more mature and get to make decisions and see my own decisions come to fruition, I am so grateful that I got to live this shitty life that I've lived and all the things that I've been through and all the things
you got to live it all. You got to see it through both sides.
And it came with some amazing stuff. And I emphasize the word shitty for this reason, because it was only shitty because of me, right? Because of what I perceived as my life.
What you took in from it.
And now that I don't, and I see things differently, clearly, more maturely, I understand that. And so that's my perspective. People can take with it what they want. I'm not pushing anyone.
You're not sitting here being like, I'm a baby killer or I'm not a baby killer. It's like you have your own life that you
I've
live.
had people come up to me and tell me arguments about why the ability to make the choice to have an abortion is important. And I think some people made some good arguments.
Right.
And so I'm not at all telling someone that I'm not open to other sides or that I even believe in something different. I'm just telling you mine from my perspective of being adopted. That's my perspective.
Well, I completely love that. And I love that, it came from a place of upbringing and a personal actual experience, and that's super awesome. I think I'm right in the middle with the whole thing. I mean, I know we're not sitting here having a Roe v. Wade like debate.
Sure. In the middle is probably a good place to be right now. Yeah.
So how I look at it is what I really dislike about the whole not being able to get abortions is there's medical emergencies and medical things that need to happen. And some of those things are being overlooked with what's happening. I do hear a lot of, this is really affecting the 8 to 12 week community.
Were they overlooked before, though? I guess would be my question. Was there a massive outroar before this Roe v. Wade thing happened, right? Or the overturning of Roe v. Wade? Was there an uproar about, like, why is this an issue now? You're saying that, like, medically people were able to do stuff before and they won't be able to anymore?
No. What I'm saying is say you have a dead fetus in your body and you're 6 or 7 months along.
Wait, so, okay. So I didn't know this. So explain that to me. Are they saying, like, you got to have it?
Yeah.
Is that true? Or
I don't know.
Did you hear that? Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I've heard it.
Because we just talked about this.
I can't fact check it.
If that's true, then
one of the arguments that I can agree with, do I know it's 100% true? I don't know. But here's just one of the many arguments that I'm on the side of. Let women they need these freedoms is when, they're having complications and something's happening and it's almost affecting the mother and it's not going to be a livable fetus. Basically, it's not going to be a livable human. And they're like, you need to push through the full term and have the baby on your own.
If that's true, then I would be against that scenario for sure. Because I think that's like, and that's where I fully understand. Like, you have the right to choose if this is a life you want to live, if this is a life you want to put them through. But also, if the doctor's literally telling you, like, you may not make it, or the baby may not make it, or you both may make it. But
that's what's hard for me to understand. I'm like, is that really what's going? Like, are they really like, nope, sorry, lady, like, you got to push through this. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I am very sensitive to the whole subject.
Here's what I would ask someone,
and I get it.
And we're gonna have to leave the subject.
Yeah. 100, dude. Yeah, you're gonna get so many hate comments.
This doesn't end well.
Yeah. No,
but here's where I'll leave it on the last note. If we all agreed that those things were okay, do you think we would still find a medium here? And I don't know if we would. Let's say we all agreed, because I can agree with that.
Right.
Let's say the biggest arguments are rape and incest. So if we all agreed, if rape and incest is evolved, then you're allowed to. Right. Yeah, medically, you're allowed to. Right. As long as we agreed on those. Those are the main arguments, by the way.
Yep, 100%.
Like, are we good with banning the other ones?
Right.
I don't think we would be.
Yeah. No,
and I'm not saying we should be. I'm just saying those are the three main arguments, and from what I've heard from people is they're a very small percentage. There's a high percentage of people that rely on the ability to have one as contraception, which contraception exists. Right. And I'm not saying that's even a thing that would happen. Like, I'm not saying the government would even agree to that. Like, all right, let's let these three things in. But if we did, would we be good?
Would we just wipe the slate clean and be like, we're not going to have, any parades down the street, Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, for sure.
But I also, to end this conversation, I also understand and respect the fact that, like, I will never carry a child. And so I am only speaking from a perspective as a person that has information and not lived experience. And as someone who's had lived experience in other things, I value that. Yeah. So when someone's speaking to me like, hey man, like, I've been through this, or like, my body's been through this, or I know a friend that's been through this, like, I'm totally into listening, because I understand that. I approach this topic with at least that much comfort and gentle care, that I understand that I really am speaking about something that I'll never go through and never have. Right. And so that's where I'll leave it with that.
Yeah, well, I got a vasectomy, so I'm allowed to speak.
Cut your dick off, Tommy.
I've been snipped.
Here, I cut my dick off so I can say whatever I want.
I cut my dick off because I became a sailor, and
Like
that's
I
what we
said-
were supposed to do.
I think you said dick off.
My dick off. I cut my good old fashioned dick off.
Dick off. You ever listen to a clock really closely? It goes dick off, dick off.
Definitely not TikTok. I'll tell you that for sure.
So we'll take a quick break. Jesus Christ, I keep trying to like introduce what we've already done. Let's just jump back into something.
Yeah.
Did you I think we kind of joked about this one time or like after a while. Do you remember when you first met me?
I don't know if our first memories
get up on that mic. Get up on the mic.
I don't know if our first memories meet up and bunk each other right in the memory.
I remember I think you told me at one point you're like, I thought you hated me, Will.
Yeah. So
did you really think that?
Not that I ever thought you hated me, but you weren't very social with me, which is crazy because you're a social person. Yeah. And I'm a very social person.
We're also talking like 9 years ago that I met you.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. So my first memory, which I think I had met you before because it was like, my sister's like, oh, Lauren Will.
And then we also went to school together. And so like the chances of us not.
Which is weird because
I have
I'm
zero
like, dude,
memories
I don't
of you
remember
in
you
school.
in high school.
You know what's funny is some of the listeners are like, I know Tommy and Will, and like they're in the same class as us.
Right.
Or graduating class.
They were our middlemen.
Yeah.
Between us.
they were lower, but you know what I mean.
You know, Tommy's at like theater, choir.
Will sports. We're somewhere in the middle. Yeah. They always go like, oh yeah, like you know, like remember Tommy this, and I'm like, I kind of met him afterwards, but we probably did run into each other at school.
Yeah, so
which is kind of wild.
My very first memory of you, which totally makes sense, is before, like right before I joined the Navy. You and your brother, and Laura, and maybe somebody else. I don't know, but for sure, you, your brother, and Laura.
Colin.
Yeah, Colin. You, Colin, and Laura came to our apartment when me and my mom, we lived at Tuscanavia.
Okay.
And we had like a little game night.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I played the game where you wrote down a word. And I think the name of the game has word in it.
Words with Friends.
Yes. Maybe it's Words with Friends.
It is, where you write the thing down and then we all vote on it.
Yes.
Did I write something weird down?
No, but it was like that night, because if y'all don't know, listening and watching,
now you know.
Laura and Will, like if you guys don't play board games, late night games, any of the type of like those fun like friend games, they're the people you got to play with.
I think Laura gets most of the credit for that.
Yeah, well, no, you too. I mean, because
it was her idea.
You got the wit and
enjoyed it with her.
So I think anytime we get together and play those games, it's like,
yeah,
they're always best times. Anyways, that was the first time I met you, and not that I thought that night you didn't like me, but I didn't. I mean, I just can't pinpoint a time that I'm like, dang, I don't think Will like me. But I just remember like we didn't have like a full on like bro conversation. And I don't know if it was like, dang, maybe didn't like me. I don't know. But I do remember having this conversation.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's the first time I met. I'm actually certain it's not the first time I met you. But one of the first memories I had of you was you pretty drunk, and you were with your dad. And you guys were acting pretty obnoxious.
Not my dad. My dad's never drunk.
But
neither am I.
I say that knowing that I probably also have been the same way at some point. But it goes back to what me and you were talking about earlier. Me and you were so similar that I think younger Will was just like, oh man, like he's acting himself, which on a different day, that would be me and my friend or my dad or someone.
Right.
Not literally my dad. Thanks a lot, Dad. But me
Daddy,
and someone.
Where are you?
Daddy wasn't there. But it would have been me and someone, and you would have been like, fuck, like Will's just acting like drunk and obnoxious or whatever. But that was like my first like
was it at my dad's house? Was he having like a little something?
Maybe. We had showed up late.
I'm trying to think of when I was drunk with my dad.
Of course you wouldn't remember. You guys we walked in the house. It was just you and your dad and Crystal, and then you and him were pretty drunk, and you guys were hanging on each other. And it was like in a garage area. Yeah. And I think it was the second or third time I had met you. So we weren't very close, but you're very touchy, which I have an issue with. Like, not anymore, but
whoopsie.
You like when people hang on me like we're best friends and I don't really know you yet.
Dude,
like,
I'm a hugger.
I remember just being like, well, like, I don't know. I wasn't mad at you, but I remember thinking like, oh man, like I didn't know which version was you, like the guy from the game night or this guy or like someone in between.
Right.
But I just remember feeling like, I think it was more about me. I think I was more like probably because that's how I get when I drink a lot. Yeah. And so I was like, fuck this guy.
Yeah. And I'm like, so me as a drunk, if you don't know me already, I get, which is hard to believe, I get louder Like, yeah, you know, like I'm not like a confrontational drunk.
No.
I like to have fun.
Do you
I
ever
like to
try
be
to be?
loud. No, I mean, at one point, don't get me wrong, like when you have like your bad days, like I shouldn't say when you have your bad days, but like there's like a time frame in like college-ish that I was just getting too drunk all the time that I, you know, not really just always getting fights kind of thing, but like I was confrontational.
Yeah.
And that was not okay, you know, but it's like anymore, it's like if I'm out drinking, like let's have fun, let's get loud. Like I'm probably going to get kicked out because I'm being too loud. You know what I mean? Like not that I'm being too rowdy or breaking or anything, but I'm just, you know, I'm just on another level of myself that I already am. So
How many fights have you been in your life?
in my life, probably like 6 or 7.
And how'd you do?
So what's funny is you know my buddy Sammy DePace.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, me and Sammy, because we're both so, and he's like such.
Oh, you lost those fights.
He's such a good friend. He's such
so maybe he let you win one.
he let me win one. We had probably like 3 shootouts that didn't come to anything. It was like we're playing basketball, somebody's winning, and we popped each other a couple times.
Yeah.
There's one time that I think I kind of won, but it wasn't really like a full-on fight. And there's one time that he clearly won.
Yeah.
Like I think we're both going at it, and he kind of like popped me quite a few times, and that was that. But
It's like a trained fighter, though. You're supposed to lose those fights.
yeah, but he was trained since he was like a baby.
That's what I'm saying.
Like Big Sam, and I love Big Sam was like a second dad to me. But Big Sam was like, he was like hard ass on Sammy. He would wake us up at 6 a.m. And don't get me wrong, I'm not the trained boxer Sammy was. He'd have us go running 3-5 miles.
Really?
Like he's like, you guys go down the street. And me and Sammy thought we're cool after running 2 miles. We're like, okay, let's just walk. Like, let's just take our time and then we'll jog back. Who fucking shows up in a truck right behind us is Big Sam. Yeah.
Why aren't you sweating?
Yeah, no, exactly. And we got our asses beaten. Yeah, much respect to Big Sam. He's a great guy. Yeah, no, but at the end of the day, I'll always, you know, Sammy obviously is the better fighter of the two of us. He's
we'll give him that.
Yeah,
one.
we'll give him that.
He doesn't win much,
Shit.
but he definitely won the battle of Tommy Davis versus him.
Yeah. Yeah, and I had a couple fights like in my school days, and nothing. I mean, nothing that I'd be like, oh, this person or I was like the clear out winner, but yeah, I went. there was.
I think it's important to
There's a
fight.
petty one in middle school that happened, and
A pity or petty?
Petty, super petty.
Tell me
Yeah,
about it.
it was like this kid, and I feel bad about it now because like he was whatever, and he got with the kids. It was like, oh, white boy this, white boy that, and growing up in Las Cruces, I don't know if this is gonna be controversial on here, but
Oh yeah,
gringo this, wedo this, blah blah blah, white boy this. It's like that's what you grow up with here in Las Cruces, and it got to the point where him and his buddies, I was like, dude, like cut your shit, like I'm sick of you guys like being white boy this, like, you know, like leave me alone kind of thing. And one day we're on the basketball courts, and I ended up getting in a fight with him, and I hit him.
This is middle school?
Yeah.
What middle school?
Camino.
And then what happened?
So basically, yeah, I don't remember. I remember going to the basketball courts. Is like, oh, I'm gonna fight this dude, and I feel bad because like I shouldn't have. Anyways, I shouldn't have fought this dude, and he like went to punch me, and I punched him a couple times, and that was it. But he had like a bloody nose, and the teacher came and grabbed me by my shirt. She's like, "Did you fight so and so?" And I was like, "No." And she's like,
He fell down some stairs.
He said, anyways, I ended up going to court for it. His parents took me to court. I punched him twice in the face. And I showed up to court, and I had this like USA tie, and it wasn't to be political. I just had a red, white, and blue. I wasn't like, I don't know. I never thought of myself as being like.
Wait, you went to court in middle school?
Yeah, I had to go to court.
They charge you with like assault?
They tried to, and the judge like dismissed it. But I legit punched a kid like twice, and his parents like came out.
Do you know this kid? Like,
yeah,
to this day?
and apparently he talked to one of my friends recently, and like seemed like he was like after me.
Like, he didn't let it go yet?
Even now as an adult.
That's pretty rare for a guy.
I'm like,
most
dude,
most guys will drop it after a fight.
that was 20 years ago, and I punched you twice. Like, leave me alone. Like,
what if he's out there like training really hard?
Dude, he might be. I'll let him punch me twice.
What if
back.
you're like
I'm
an Albertsons one day?
I'm like, dude, I'm
He's
cool.
like, remember me?
Yeah. He's like, come here, buddy. Please, I'll put him up. Put him up. And I'm like, dude, here you go. I'm gonna go for it, bro. Like, I'm done with this. I'll let you hit me. I don't care.
Some random old guy hops out. Round one, fight.
He like farts on me. He's like, got you back, bro. That was it.
In your face, Tommy.
All he wanted to do for 20 years is fart on me.
Whoa, melon punch. It's like a video game. He's putting jelly on the floor. Would you fight him in like a video game?
Dude, I'm just not. Yeah, in a video game.
What if it was like virtual reality fighting? Like
Yeah.
you guys put on the gloves
Yeah.
and stuff, but like in the virtual reality world.
What's crazy? Yeah, for sure. But as like an adult, like I think after having kids, I'm like, dude, I don't want to fight anybody. Like, I mean, I would, but
Yeah.
I don't care to fight anybody. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, dude, I'm so, I'm good and content, and I don't feel like fighting makes anything. Like, I don't know. I don't have the anger bone in my body anymore.
Was there a time in your life? Because I remember getting into fighting and thinking the reason why I got into it was because like I hated the feeling of helplessness. Like
Yeah.
those moments where like whether it's verbal or physical, where you're like, I have no control over this situation right now.
Mm.
And then you would just either get made fun of if it was verbal or beat up if it was physical. And I'm like, if I never have to fight, that's cool. But I just want to make sure like I can scare someone enough that I don't have to.
So it's funny, 'cause I think I was just talking. I was talking, maybe, I don't know. I was talking to somebody about this the other day, but I think my version of going about that, actually, I think I was talking to my kids about this, but I didn't go too deep into it. But my version of really getting back at somebody and showing them was like on the basketball court, on the soccer field,
Like competitive.
Yeah. And I swear, like always, like, and I try not to get too political on this, but it's like gringo this, white boy this, wedo this, whatever, growing up here in Las Cruces, and I always like had to be at the top of my game because it made me feel low. It did, like whenever I was, you know what I mean? And it's funny, I look back, because back then it was like, oh, whatever. Like I was never like depressed about it. But now I look back and I'm like, damn, that was like the fuel to my fire to like try to be the best at everything I did and work hard. And, now that I have kids and they're like, I'm just not good at this, I quit. I'm like, no, get back out there. Keep going, like you got to learn somehow. Anyways, but yeah, I think more so than actual fist fighting and stuff was I just like wanted to show people like my ability, and I feel like it's so dumb because I ain't shit now. I'm just a dad with 3 kids. Like back in my high school days.
I think that's like a normal thing though, to like want to show what you're capable of. I think people that don't know how to properly portray that are the kids that like end up doing really bad stuff.
Right.
And so like if they only knew there was an outlet like through sports or through music or through like, that's why I never like always had an appreciation for like hip hop or like crump, like, or like just some like dance battles, like any sort of competition where like there's a winner and a loser.
Right.
Like I like that because it makes you strive for something. I'm not a fan of participation trophies because I think we can participate in anything we want in life.
Yeah.
But I like the ability to like go into something and just be like, I have no idea what this is, but I want to work really hard. And I know that if I work really hard, I can at least get into the tier of people that are doing well. Yeah. And maybe win some shit there.
100%.
I think it's like a lost art in modern times, like the ability to compete for stuff.
Yeah. And I agree with you. I'm like participation trophies or ribbons. Like, don't give my kid one, please. This isn't a tournament.
What would you do if your son brought home one? And it was like shaped as a turtle, and it said like "Good job, good job, 6th place."
I'll be on. I'd be cool. I'd be cool with it. Like as much as I want to be big bad and be like, because I don't believe in him. But if my kid got a trophy or something, I wouldn't grab it from his hand and be like, "You didn't earn that or deserve that."
No, I think movies made it seem like that's what people do. But if my son comes home or daughter, I don't care who it is, and they have a 6th place turtle trophy.
Turtle.
I'm telling them why they should never win that.
Turtle trophy.
Because if it was like a race,
were you the slowest?
You were the slowest finisher.
You got flat feet.
At least you finished the race, sweetie. No, I'd be like 6. I mean, that's the
it's better than
6th best
7th.
ribbon you could have got.
Yeah, it's better than.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, but maybe I'm old school.
Yeah, no, I totally get that though.
I think there's something special in losing.
No,
like it makes you work hard.
Yeah,
that's why when I see undefeated UFC fighters, I'm like, oh my god, when they lose once, they're gonna be so great.
Right,
because you learn so much from that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think.
And some just disappear.
True, because they don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah, I feel like you get a couple fighters out there, you get a couple losses, stuff that the fighters that are so hyped up, and you're like, where'd they go?
Yeah, I think it's usually the other way around though. You get people that rack up some losses and refuse to like work on anything because they're used to being the guy that was undefeated at one point, which everyone's undefeated if you win your first fight or win your first basketball game or win your first tennis match or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You're undefeated. Yeah. You want to know. Greatest they've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is like, I mean, this is kind of random, but I know you know like Stephen Melendrez.
I do or don't?
No, I said I know that you do know Stephen Melendrez.
Oh, they said I know you don't like him. I'm like, wait a minute.
No.
He's my point guard, man.
I haven't seen Stephen for. He's such a cool guy though.
He works out of my gym, man, and he does listen. So
he does.
Be fucking nice, bro.
No.
Because he will jump to this screen and fuck you up. No, I'm just kidding.
No, the only reason I bring up Stephen is because I know that he's a mutual friend. But when we grew up, we had a basketball team.
Okay.
And our basketball team was like 100 and something wins with like one loss. Like we were in the newspapers. It was stupid. Yeah, it was stupid.
These
like
kids don't know how to lose.
Like anytime we lost, it's because we went out of town somewhere.
We dropped them off late and they still won.
Yeah, and there's shoot, I don't even want to name off names because I don't know if there's familiar people. But anyways, we we like dominated for like 3 or 4 years, and so I didn't really know how to be a loser growing up in Las Cruces. Anytime
just rode that wave.
Yeah, until I went to Oñate, and then I really learned how to be
some
a
kids
loser.
like, you're a loser, Tommy. Yeah, but Stephen Melendrez is my point guard, so how much of a loser can I be?
Have you heard of Stephen Melendrez? You should check him out.
You should Google him before you go talking to guys like me.
Google him. I'm going to look him up in the yellow pages.
I'm on his top 6 on MySpace, bro. We're affiliated.
before MySpace.
No, get paid 2 cents every time I bring his name up on a podcast.
Yeah. Dude, he's gonna owe me like a dime after this.
He owes me like 16 cents, man. I hyped him up.
I love it, man. And you know what? What I loved about growing up is like Steven and Juan Ayala.
Yes.
And that whole group and Mel, I don't know if you know Mel Pizarro, Daniel Nunez. Dude, we grew up playing basketball outside like 5 or 6 days out of the week. All the time. Either they would come over and we'd play, or I'd go, out to where they're at and play. And it was all, and it's crazy because I have my kids and we're about the same age. My oldest is about the same age that I was when I started. And I'm like, dude, I don't see kids balling it up outside. I don't see kids playing outside. Soccer, basketball, whatever, and we were always outside playing. Always.
Yeah. I don't know if it's as encouraged. I hope it is.
Yeah.
I like, and I've had a few guests on the podcast that are like really close to sports.
Yeah.
Which maybe I should veer away from.
Yeah, let's not talk too much because if they find out who my team is, they'll get made fun of.
You're right. Swear to God. We talked, for those of you watching or listening, we would talk to UFC earlier. And then Tom was like, yeah, I love UFC. And then I was like, back in 1987 when Robbie Lawler first came in and he had hair. And then Tom was like, oh shit, I don't know as much as this guy.
No, it's like, okay, with UFC, what I will say is we would rent the VHS tapes from Hastings.
I remember getting VHS tapes too.
Yeah. I watched them.
They're very hard to find, by the way. And they were always rented out, so you sometimes have to like wait for someone else to turn them in.
Yes, Frank Shamrock was my favorite fighter. I liked Frank Shamrock because I liked Ken Shamrock, but I thought Frank was the better up-and-coming version of Ken. But Frank kind of died off. But anyways, that Tank Abbott, like... Dude,
oh my God, that guy was so good.
I mean, Royce Gracie, obviously, he began... But dude, UFC back then was like 3 fights in a night.
Yes, it was all tournament style.
It was a tournament. Yeah. It was one night, and it didn't matter. It was like some of them were like 10-second fights. It was like they'd go in and purposely, rear naked choke real quick. You know what I mean? To get onto the next, so they wouldn't have this.
Those
so they'd have energy.
Years.
Yeah, they'd have energy for their third fight to win the whole championship. So, dude, So I mean, I followed UFC for the longest time, and there were several years that I kind of fell off, but.
Let's end it with this because we're getting close towards the end. I know we've been talking so long, it feels like we've been here for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Oh wait, are we almost done?
So this card, this will be fun. Yeah, we're almost done. If I can spell card. This episode will come out after the fights, but for those of you listening and watching, we record this on a Wednesday, so the big card is coming up this Saturday, UFC 276. So let's go over some of the biggest fights. We'll call out our winners and losers and why. And then we'll probably look stupid when this episode comes out and we realize we're very wrong. But for those of you that haven't been up to date, this is one of the most stacked cards of the year. It is International Fight Week. And they canceled some fights, so some of you guys might not know this, but the first big fight is on the early prelims, so watch them early, which when this comes out, they will have already happened. So whatever. Why am I promoting? I don't get paid for this. All right. So let's go first off. And there's tons of them that are like Jessica I,
prelims,
Macy
I'm
Barber.
gonna have to guess. So
guess.
Macy Barber for sure.
I'm gonna go Macy Barber as well. I like Jessica I, but I love Macy Barber. I think she's underrated. Uriah Hall, Andre Muniz.
I don't know much about Andre, so I'm gonna say Hall.
So for sure, I think most people would because we all know Uriah. So let's go to the next big fight: Jim Miller versus Donald Cowboy Cerrone in what might be his last fight ever. I seriously doubt it because he is addicted to fighting. But
I thought he said he was going 50, and that's like 2 or 3.
50 wins.
No, 50 fights.
Oh, he's way over 50.
Well,
so 36, 46, he's at 52
in the UFC.
fights.
I know, that's career fights.
I know,
UFC
I know.
fights.
Either way, every fight for the rest of his career will be marketed as his last fight.
Right.
Which I think he'll fight again. Right. But I think I'm going to go Cerrone on this one. They almost have the same identical record, by the way. Jim Miller is 34-16 and 0.
And Cerrone got him last time? Or is this a rescheduled fight? Yeah, I think they have.
This is rescheduled for sure, but they may have
I'm going to go Cerrone because I know for a long time he's fighting out of Albuquerque. I don't know if he still is, but
he is not anymore out of Jackson. He's in Denver now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll go Cerrone.
I'll go Cerrone too.
He's old school. I like Cerrone.
But let's get to the main card. Here's the fun ones that everyone will actually know the names. Sean O'Malley. The Irish. Is he Irish? No, O'Malley just sounds Irish.
He's not
the Irish, stylish, smilish, confidish. We'll just make up some name for him.
He's Sean O'Malley materialistic
versus Pedro Munoz. It's his first time fighting a top 10 fighter. And of course, we're probably going to both go with Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, Sean O'Malley.
Yeah.
I don't want him to win, but he will.
I want him to win, and he also will.
I don't really care, honestly. Yeah, he's going to win, though.
What about Robbie Lawler versus Brian Barberena?
Lawler. Old champ is going to come back.
All right, here's the fun part. Sean Strickland burlesque. Sean Strickland is doing burlesque against Alex Pereira. Just kidding. Sean Strickland versus Alex Pereira. Think so?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Strickland on this one.
Yeah.
I think the fans want to see Pereira because he holds 2 wins over Adesanya. One of them's a knockout, and he's lost only 1 MMA fight. And Adesanya's only lost 1. The difference is Adesanya's 22-1 and Pereira's 5-1.
I like Strickland. Don't get me wrong, but I think Pereira's the better fighter.
Sure. I like Pereira too. I'm going to go Strickland on that one, though. And then my favorite fight of the night, Max Blessed Holloway versus Alexander Volkanovski, number 3.
This one's a coin toss.
We talked about this a lot earlier.
It's a coin toss. I like both fighters. I love Max Holloway. He's a Hawaiian guy. He's USA.
But if you had to put your metaphorical money,
I'm gonna go with Volk.
People making fun of you in the episode.
I know it wasn't the best of competition, but Korean Zombie was just like an embarrassing.
I'm gonna go with Max. I think Max won the first fight.
You think he's really gonna win, or because you like him more?
No.
Let's
both.
Okay.
I think he won the first fight.
Mm-hmm.
Barely. It was very close. I think the second fight he clearly won, and he also got a loss for that one too.
I feel like Volk after Brian Ortega. Like, I think that I don't think Brian Ortega's like top 3. Like, you know what I mean?
But here's my argument. Watch Alexander Volkanovski versus Brian Ortega, and then also watch Max Holloway versus Brian Ortega. And who fucked up Ortega more?
Okay.
Max fucked him up, and he was undefeated when he fought Max, and Max destroyed him.
Yeah.
Doctor stoppage. It was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
I'm going to go with Max. I would not be mad at anyone that went Volkanovski on the fight, but I'm going to go Max. Final fight, main event of the evening. Israel Adesanya 22-1 versus Jared Cannonier 15-5. What do you got?
Not Cannonier.
Cannonier,
yeah.
Walk up to a Vegas sports book. I got $1,000 on not Cannonier.
I mean, dude, my picks are so basic and by the book, but I'm like,
I'm going to go.
I'm not an Adesanya. I think he's great, but Adesanya is one of those people I want to see lose. But this fight,
I think he's more than great. I think he's coming off a string of some subpar fights.
Yeah, agreed.
He's so great that when he has those fights, we kind of give him shit. I think he still gets it done today on Saturday whenever they fight. But I would not be remotely surprised if Cannonier won. Yeah. I don't think Adesanya is ripe for someone who's a really good wrestler. Mm-hmm. And I think not that Cannonier is like a top-notch wrestler, but he's a good wrestler,
but he has, his striking's.
He's definitely better than Adesanya that way. Again, Adesanya is amazing takedown defense, but we saw him fight at 205 against Jan Blachowicz, who was able to take him down and do some things with him. I think Cannonier should be able to replicate that a little bit. I think Adesanya still gets the win because I don't think he'll get a chance at that, but I would not. I think My heart will be pulling for Cannoneer, but I think if I was betting money on it, I'd go Adesanya.
Yeah, usually I'm so against Adesanya, but this fight, I don't know. I mean, I don't know who would be. I think he deserves his chance against Adesanya, but I don't know. I think it's another one.
Well, if Pereira gets a win and Adesanya also gets a win, then that's going
to be a great rematch.
Yeah.
You know, two kickboxers. Kickboxers?
Kick me.
Did I say that right? They're both kickboxers, right?
They're both kickboxers.
Okay. Yeah, both kickboxers.
It's hard with MMA.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the whole reason that Adesanya has his loss was in a kickboxing match. It wasn't a.
He has two losses to the same guy. He also has a loss in MMA. He got beat up by Jan Blachowicz because he moved up.
Oh, that's right. That's
why he's
not in the
22
same
and
weight
1.
class. That's right. Yeah.
He's undefeated in his weight class in MMA.
Yeah.
But he did lose in two fights.
It was pretty.
Yeah.
It was one-sided.
Well,
when you go up a weight class like that too.
Oh, against Jan, and then Jan goes on to lose to Glover Teixeira.
Right.
But I will mention this. This is how we'll wrap up the podcast because I think people that know of Alex Pereira will remember that he has 2 wins over Israel Adesanya. But I will challenge anyone that watches fighting very closely to rewatch those fights. Izzy Adesanya, I think, won the first one. It was very close, but I would have given him the win. It was a decision win. The second one, he gets knocked out, so that's pretty clearly Pereira. But if you watch that fight, Adesanya was also dominating that fight. He looks like the better fighter. You watch him in both of those losses, and he was clearly the better fighter. He was young. He got caught with a really, really bad, I think it was a left hook in the knockout win. And then on the decision, he just didn't push it at the end to win the rounds he needed to win.
I didn't see the first one. I didn't.
Most people don't watch kickboxing.
Right.
And so you don't know that unless you watch it. Or research it, look it up. You'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm not sure that Pereira's as hyped up as he should be. But we'll see what happens. Maybe he's even better than we think he is.
Stay tuned Saturday night.
All right.
UFC.
Let's wrap this up. What do you think? If we're not canceled after this episode, Tommy, you coming back for another one?
I'm coming back for another one. Not only that, I have a great idea that's been brewing in my brain. I don't know if you want me to say it on air.
Is it brewing?
It's a brewing.
It's a brewing?
I don't know if I should say it or not.
Kind of like this pee I need to take right now?
Dude, this pee is brewing. But so is this idea, and I don't know if I should get it out. I think we should do a little prank phone calling.
Oh, yeah.
Every now and then. And, just like each episode have a prank phone call. Because we can't make a podcast about prank phone calls.
What if we do that right now? I'm down to try a few.
A prank phone call?
A few.
Right now?
Yes. Let's take a bathroom break, and then we'll do a few. We'll see how they go. If they suck, we'll cut them out, and if they do good, we'll keep them in.
That's perfect.
I am so glad that you're able to come in again. I appreciate it. I think the second one was great. I hope it matches the energy from the first one. You'd come back again, right?
110%. I'd come back. I love being here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, my God. I had so much fun.
Seriously.
Hopefully, everyone's entertained. Ladies and gentlemen, Tommy.
Woo!
Davis. All right, my guy, we're out. We're out, guys. Subscribe and all the stuff we said earlier. Jesus.
Smash that disturb button.
Did you say smash
the button.
Smash the like button.
Smash the like button. Ring the bell.